Good afternoon, everyone. We are going to go ahead and get started. My name is Chelsea, and I'm with Unbound Medicine, and I'm here to show you Nursing Central. It's nice to have you all here today, and I want to let you know that my colleague Hillary is also here with me as well. So if you have any questions throughout the presentation, feel free to put them into the chat. She's going to be monitoring them, and we will be able to get to them that way. Nursing Central is an excellent resource for students, but it's also a great resource for you, the faculty. Along with helping with ways to organize and share information for class, clinical, and labs, Nursing Central can also help you meet your students where they are with technology, which is on their phone. So today, my focus is on you, the faculty. I'm going to be able to show you how to use Nursing Central to enhance your classroom, clinical, and lab experience. I'm going to be using a basic Nursing Central package with Davis's Drug Guide, Diseases and Disorders, Davis's Lab and Diagnostic Tests, and Tabor's Medical Dictionary. And depending on your institution, your package may look a little bit different, but the tools and other features are the exact same. If you have the free faculty copy to follow along with today, you'll have all of the resources that I'm going to be using. Again, if you have any questions throughout the presentation, feel free to enter them into the chat. So let's go ahead and dive right in. I'm just going to connect my phone very quickly. All right, here we are. Perfect, and I'm just going to minimize myself very quickly. All right. So I have my app open on my mobile device, and everyone should have the app downloaded or at least have the web version open. Anything that you save on the web or the device will be the same in either location. And if you can see right at the top, there's a Moving Nursing Central banner. This banner, there may be a drug of the week, a Tabor's word of the day. These are called alerts. You can also use alerts for institutional information and updates. And we're going to be covering this in a future Nursing Central training. So let's look right at the home screen. In the upper right-hand corner of your device, I'm going to tap the magnifying glass. This is known as the universal search bar. This type of search will bring forth information from all of your resources. So I'm going to do a search for hypertension. Depending on the resources that you have, you should see a number of different options pop up. Let's look for hypertension in diseases and disorders. That's the purple icon with the blue stethoscope. So you can see how easy this was to get to. So if you're lecturing and a student has a question, you can get to the answer in a heartbeat. You can actually scroll through all of this information. And I'm going to come down to causes. The first tool that I want to show you is Glimpse. So in this resource, you can see in, the last of the first paragraph, there is the word or the drug ephedrine. Let's say you want your students to see the contraindications of this drug. So what I'm able to do is I'm able to tap my finger and hold over the word ephedrine, and this little black menu bar will pop up. If I just tab over, this is where I can utilize Glimpse. And when I tap Glimpse, it brings me right to the ephedrine topic inside of Davis's Drug Guide. If you have it, it will bring you there as well. If you are on the web, you can highlight ephedrine and Glimpse will appear. Here, if your students are having trouble pronouncing a medication, there is a pronunciation feature right here.
Ephedrine.
And it will say the word back to them. So now we can literally scroll right down to the contraindications and we can get that information. Whenever you're done looking with this topic, you can just tap done in the upper right-hand corner, and you're right back in the causes section in hypertension. Glimpse not only works for medications, but it also works for medical terminology. So if your student is having trouble with basic medical terminology, you can easily glimpse that. So I'm going to do hypercalcemia, located right here. Again, if I tap my finger, hold and let go, the menu bar will appear. I can just tab over and tap glimpse. And this time it takes me to Tabor's Medical Dictionary, and it will take you as well, as long as you have that resource. It's just another way for you and your students to find information quickly. And then when you're done, you can just tap done and you're right back to where you left off. Are there any questions so far on anything that we've covered? I'll give a few seconds. All right, perfect. So again, if you have any questions, feel free to put them into the chat and we can answer them as soon as possible.
Sorry, Chelsea. I am monitoring the questions. There are no questions yet.
Okay, perfect. Thank you, Hillary. Okay, so now we're back into our original resource. And let's say you want to save this information for an upcoming lecture. If you look at the bottom menu bar, you can see a bunch of little icons down there. There is a star. If you're on the computer, look for the favorites right at the top. There'll be a little star. So now when I tap the star, this topic is now saved to my favorites and I can access it from my home screen. So now I can hit the little home button on the bottom left-hand corner, go back to my home screen. And now if I go into favorites, this information is bookmarked for me. In Nursing Central Training 2, which will happen in the near future, we will discuss how to organize favorites so you can efficiently organize notes and favorites for lab, classroom, or clinical instruction. So we're back on the home page, and I've showed you the first way to search, which is the universal search bar, but there is a second way to search. You can go directly into a resource and search within that resource. We're going to go into the disease guide, which is the purple icon with the blue stethoscope. I'm going to tap into all entries, and you can see it lists out everything in alphabetical order. I'm going to use the jump to menu to search within this one resource. So I'm going to tap jump to, and I'm going to do the same search as before, hypertension. And from here, I can select hypertension. Searching this way breaks it down into the different types of hypertension, but I'm just going to choose the one at the bottom. You can see right here, I'm back to the exact same resource that I was before. You can still see that favorite is still highlighted for me at the bottom. While we're here, I'm going to show you what the sections menu is. So the sections menu allows you to jump to a specific section within this resource. So I'm going to tap the small arrow in the bottom right-hand corner that's facing upwards. You can see when I tap that, the sections menu will pop right up. If you're following along on the web, the sections menu is already open for you on the left-hand side of your screen. This allows you to get to sections faster within a topic. So let's move to planning implementation. I can tap that, and you can see it brings me right down to that section. Again, this is all about efficiency. It's helpful to remind your students that these functions are available to them as well. If we want to find additional information related to the topic of hypertension, we're able to use Crosslinks. Again, bottom menu bar will hold a lot of your different tools. And if you look and see the two arrows that are pointing in opposite directions, that's going to be Crosslinks. I'm going to tap those two arrows. Again, if you're on the web, Crosslinks is already open for you on the right-hand side. So now this will bring up all of the cross-linked information. So anything related to hypertension is going to pop up here. So if your students need to go to a medication, a lab, anything like that, that's where this will appear. But for this example, I'm going to choose a medication. So I'm going to scroll down and I'm going to select metoprolol. You can see right away, it takes me to Davis's drug guide and it brings me to the entry for metoprolol. Right at the top, there is that bold red text. This is just going to let you know and your students know that this is a high alert medication. There's also that pronunciation feature there as well. And for some reason, it never works for me for metoprolol. But below the pronunciation, there are also pill pictures. Pill pictures are a great resource for your students and their patients if they have to do some patient teaching. You can also see that the trade names are listed here below as well. And again, you can scroll through all of this information, or you can use the sections menu. And I want to show you how that you and your students have direct access to calculators. So I'm going to use the sections menu and I'm going to hop down right to route and dosage. This is where both you and your students can find all of the dosage and route information for the medication. If you notice on the bottom menu bar, you can see that there is a calculator icon. So I'm going to tap on the calculator icon, and this will bring me all of the dosage calculators that I could possibly need. So since that I noticed this drug is a solid, I'm going to choose that option, PO dosage solid. From here, I can enter my dosage information. So let's say 100, and let's actually change that to milligram. So 100 milligrams, and then the dose per tablet, I'm going to do 20, and also use this drop down to change that to milligram as well. And then when I hit calculate, this information is given to me. It gives me the result. We know that you stress that your students should know how to calculate the dose even without a calculator, but this is a great way for them to check the results of their calculation. Additionally, if I scroll down a little bit, you can see that the formula is listed right here for the student to take a look back on. So whenever you and your students are done calculating the dosage information, you can tap the back arrow in the upper left-hand corner, and I'm back into the metoprolol. So now I'm going to use that sections menu. I'm going to go back up to action. So this seems like a good idea to make a note, the action of the medication. So you have the ability to make a note within Nursing Central. So I'm going to just highlight the action, this little, I guess it's 2 sentences right here, block stimulation of beta 1. So same thing like we did with Glimpse, if we tap and hold down over the first word that you want to highlight. But this time we're going to use that second cursor and drag it over all of the information that you want to highlight. So now when that menu bar pops up and we tab over, note will appear, and I can choose that right here. And the note box will appear, and there are 3 different colors at the bottom, and you can really choose to keep your notes super organized. So let's say, you were going over metoprolol and the action of metoprolol in clinicals, last week, and you want to remember to, relay this information to your students this week. So you can put a little note in here, reminder to tell students in clinical. And now when you tap done, you can see that that information is now highlighted for me. And just like favorites, the note is waiting for me right on the home screen. Go back home, go into my notes section. And you can see that note that I just made right at the top. You can see I made some other notes as well, just to show you what the different colors look like. And there are a number of different ways to organize your notes and favorites. And again, I'll point out how to do that in a future Nursing Central training. So now we are back on the home screen. So that's a fairly quick rundown of most of our tools. So you saw a glimpse for quick medical definitions and drug information. You also saw how we use favorites to bookmark information on hypertension. We also did a general search across all of the resources in Nursing Central and a specific search to a resource. We used the sections menu to quickly find information. We also found associated information with crosslinks. We used the calculator and we took a note. I just want to check in with you all to make sure if there are any questions about any of these tools.
We have a very quiet crew today, Chelsea. We have no questions so far.
Okay, I will just continue rolling on then. All right, again, any questions, feel free to put them into the chat. So there are a couple of other items that I want to point out. If I scroll down a little bit, there is a faculty guide to Nursing Central. If you do not have the faculty guide, please feel free to reach out to us. We will be providing the email at the end of the presentation. It's pretty easy. It's sales@unboundmedicine.com. And we will be able to add the faculty guide to Nursing Central to your account. This just holds a bunch of different webinars that we have done that have been nursing related. Once we do that, once we get this recording done and uploaded, this recording will probably go in here as well. So feel free to share with your colleagues as well. We also have a case study answer key. This was a Keith RN COVID-19 case study we did last year. And the actual case study is located in the Learning Center inside of Nursing Central. So your students, if you have a site license, will be able to get to this Keith RN case study. But as a faculty member, you will have the answer key once we add that faculty guide to your account. So it actually does look like we do have a question. So it looks like, how do you highlight a paragraph on the phone? So I'm going to go, I'm actually going to go into, my notes. I'll go back into Metoprolol. So you can see that once I tapped that note, it brings me right to that note. But how to highlight a paragraph on a phone, what you're going to want to do is I'm going to highlight therapeutic effects down below. So if I hold my finger and tap down over decreased and let go, there should be two cursors that appear. I'm going to drag the second cursor over all of the information that I want to highlight. When I'm done dragging that cursor, the menu bar will pop up again, and I just have to tab over to see note. So when I tap note, the note box will appear. And again, you can, write any note in here, remind students. And then when I tap done, that note's waiting for me. Did that answer your question?
I think we'll assume it did unless we hear differently, Chelsea.
Perfect. Sounds great. All right. So back on the home screen. So if you, again, if you want the faculty guide added to your Nursing Central account, feel free to reach out to sales@unboundmedicine.com. And it looks like Hillary put that into the chat. So any questions, later tomorrow, feel free to reach out to us. And then moving on, you have access to Prime resources. So Prime is your access to scholarly literature through the PubMed database. So when you're looking for evidence-based information for your lectures or your assignments, you can tap into Prime PubMed. You can see it's very easy to search in here. You can search at the top by keyword, author, or journal. Underneath, there are a bunch of different filters to refine your search. So for the example, I'm going to show you what a search looks like, and I'll show you the citations and the features as well. So I'm going to do a search on diabetes. And when I search, you can see that there's close to 1 million results here by just doing this simple search. You can see, I can see all of the citations here. I can scroll down and see which one, will work out for my class. If you're doing your own studying, maybe you're studying for your doctorate and you need some more scholarly literature to take a look at, this information is all here. You can also see that the citations are different colors, and that indicates the different publication type. If you're ever lost on, what the different colors mean, what the icons mean, if you look in the upper right-hand corner, there's a little information key. So when I tap that information key, it brings me, what all of the icons mean and all of the different publication types as well. So there are a bunch of different tools and features inside of Prime, and we will look at more Prime features in that future training that I've been talking about. But I just wanted to show you how easy it is to just do a search inside of Prime. And finally, Grasp. So Grasp is our on-device flashcard study system. I'm going to tap into here. You can see that I've downloaded some decks already, and you can see how creative students and faculty have been in creating different decks for a variety of different courses and curricula. So I'm going to choose, a study deck that was created by an instructor for her students to study. So I'm going to want to add that to my Grasp deck. So I'm going to come up here to Find Deck, and I'm going to search for decks right here. So I'm just going to search by the faculty, their username. And I'm going to add this urinary elimination deck to my collection. And all I have to do is select subscribe. And now I'm subscribed to this deck. Then when I hit the back, you can see it's all in alphabetical order here, but you can see the urinary elimination is right at the bottom. So I'm going to click into here and study. I'm just going to show you how it operates. So I just want to let you know that this works like any flashcard study system, and it uses the Lightner method of spaced repetition studying. Users need to answer each question correctly 3 times before it is marked as complete. Grasp is used by faculty and students to support effective studying and instruction. We have several videos on YouTube that cover creating and auto-generating decks, as well as sharing decks and more. You can opt to join me for that Nursing Central Advanced training, and I will dive into this a little bit more with you. But I'm just going to show you how Grasp operates just for right now, just like a flashcard. Gives you the question. I can double tap to flip, and it gives me the answer. I can swipe right if I know the answer, and then it brings me the next question. Flip over. I can scroll down to the videos. If I don't know it, I can just swipe left, and it tracks my progress right here at the top. So I'm just going to go back to the deck. So operates pretty easily. And hopefully you and your students will get a lot out of Grasp. And now that I'm back on the home screen, I just want to let you know that there are additional tools, including a citation tool for writing research papers, sharing capabilities, and more. And also, you can find all of the videos on all of the items that we discussed today and more inside of the Learning Center that I was in a little earlier. It's under Nursing Central training videos. Finally, you can find all of the videos right here, and it's very easy. We'll connect you to our YouTube page. There are tips on how to organize notes and favorites, as well as a full tutorial on everything that we've covered here today. There's also a mindfulness video series for both you and your students to take some time for yourself during the busy semester. And don't forget to reach out to our support team if you need any help. Back on the home screen, if you need in-app help and you want to contact our support team that way, if you look in the upper left-hand corner, there are 3 horizontal lines. This is where you can get application support, and this is also where you can contact our support team. We are here to help you, and we're in the office Monday through Friday from 8:30 a.m. to 5:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. So please reach out to us with any questions that you may have. And now,
actually, Chelsea,
yeah,
I think we had one more question. Do we still have NANDA 1 diagnoses? So that would be in Nurse's Pocket Guide, I believe.
Yes, that would be in Nurse's Pocket Guide.
So if you have that resource, that's where you would find that information.
Yes.
Sorry to interrupt.
No, you're fine.
Sure that question was answered.
Awesome. Yeah, not a problem. Are there any additional questions?
It looks like that is it.
Perfect. Well, again, if you have any questions, feel free to reach out to us at sales@unboundmedicine.com. And we thank you all so much for joining us today. This was exciting. And of course, we want to thank you for leading the next generation of nurses. And if you are a part of a site license at your institution and you're interested in more training or group training for your faculty and students, please contact us at sales@unboundmedicine.com and we will get you to the right person. So if there are no other questions, there is a survey waiting for you as soon as you log off of the Zoom. So feel free to answer that survey, and we appreciate you taking the time to spend with us on this Tuesday afternoon. Bye, everyone.